This is Uncouth Tangents. I am your host, Dove.
And I'm B.
Welcome to the show.
Woo woo! Anyways, I'm hitting record now.
That's fine.
Okay.
You'll figure everything out.
Am I editing this?
Probably.
Shit.
What? You busy? You too busy now?
Maybe. Maybe I have a life, okay, Mom?
Is that what it's come to?
Yeah. No. I have no life now. Snowboard season is over, and we finished up this past weekend.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was great. I did a lot of new tricks, learned a lot of new things, made some new friends. I didn't make any friends. I actually sprayed a bunch of kids with snow that I didn't mean to.
You know what?
I'm sorry, kids. If you saw a guy with a Baltimore sticker on his helmet on any of the ski slopes and everything, I'm sorry. I punched a woman in the butt like on a ski lift. I didn't mean to.
Perfect. I wish I was there just to see the violence that you're throwing down on all of these unsuspecting people.
I'm editing a video of all the things that I've recorded this season, so we'll see how that turns out.
Oh, that's what's keeping you from editing this episode?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that can wait.
It can wait. Yeah, you know what? The snow's going to be there in the video. It'll stay there forever.
Your family moments can wait. This show I can't even finish
is only
that.
time for now.
I can't even finish that sentence.
That's okay.
And it's okay that you didn't make any new friends because meeting new people is sometimes overrated.
You never know. Maybe you'll start a podcast with them.
That never works. Well, I don't know. I haven't been actively trying.
Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but start a podcast with me, maybe?
Oh, I'd reject you instantly. No. No. My horoscope said I'm not supposed to meet new people.
Do you believe in horoscopes?
Not so much. I think that there maybe can sometimes be a baseline to what a person could possibly be like, but it's so generic. And I often think about the person that's behind the horoscope writing it.
You think it's like a fortune cookie writer?
I really feel that it is. If you want to read something that makes you feel good about going into the day or something, like, oh, you're going to have a...
Some horoscopes are dark. They're like,
day.
oh, this is going to be a shit day for you. Better be careful. Don't mess with any Aquariuses today.
Right. And then if you read that, you're all of a sudden...
You're just primed for that violence.
You're on edge.
Ready to punch somebody in the ass on a ski lift.
Asking people what their horoscope is, and if you find an Aquarius, you steer clear of them. And so I think it just makes people think a little bit irrationally. Even that is a word, right?
Yeah, it's a word now. Okay. You made it.
Well, I mean...
You breathed it into existence.
Sometimes I'll say words and I mean to say a different word, but it comes out as not the proper word, or I don't pronounce it right.
Oh, I meant good.
Well, not like that. Either way, not so much into horoscopes, but you know what I am into? Salmon steaks. I'm so hungry right now. I would really like a salmon steak with Brussels sprouts on the side of it.
Should we stop recording?
No.
Do we need to
That's
go?
what we're doing right now.
I know, we could just pause and kick this back up. There's a massive time jump. Oh man, that was so good.
Yeah, the tone changes. Yeah. It's like everything is just real comfortable and
there's
and
a
chill.
Restaurant setting now. It's
you start to hear glasses clink in the background,
plates and everything. Order up.
Oh, I don't think I've ever been to a place where I've heard someone say "order up."
That's a real old school diner.
Yeah.
That is he is slapping that bell with a spatula and
Oh, perfect. Oh yeah.
That's like a Waffle House.
It sounds like a place that would have a lot of gravy that they would put on things that shouldn't have gravy on it. Like French fries, and you put gravy on it.
That's poutine.
Wait, isn't that so? Oh, okay.
That's very Canadian.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure Canada has diners.
We should go there one day and find out.
I just got my passport, so yeah, let's do this.
Awesome.
So last week we did an episode with 90's cartoons, and I kind of wanted to keep a little bit of that going. So the first half of this little game show portion, cue the music.
Ooh, we have game show music?
I usually have game show music.
Oh, well, I didn't put it in the edit that I did last week. Whoops.
The first half of this is going to be 90s cartoons. And then the second half of this is going to be live action TV shows from the 90s that are directed towards kids, not necessarily just, Fresh Prince. I don't know why Fresh Prince keeps popping up into my head for the 90s.
I don't know why you continue to throw Will Smith in my face.
I was like, do you remember Will Smith?
Every episode.
Smithy Will.
I hope I get a lot of these right. I don't remember watching a lot of live action TV in the 90s.
So I was a loser child, and
you watched all the TV?
I was a failed child, and yeah, I watched pretty much, my life was pretty much television. So
I wanted that to be my life because I stayed in the house a lot when I was a kid, but my grandmother took over the TV with her news, so I couldn't watch any shows.
So, like, your TV show was O.J. Simpson running away.
Oh, yeah, I know about that shit.
Yeah. There is a band called White Ford Bronco. And,
wow.
Yeah, and you know what? They're actually trying to bring back that car, but I think it's still too soon, especially since, like, O.J. was in, the news not too long ago about something.
Who would they market that vehicle to?
Rich, powerful black men.
No, they're not going to buy it. I can guarantee you that. They are not going to buy it.
Okay, so music has been cued.
Yay.
You ready?
Yes.
You pumped?
Oh, I'm pumped.
You ready?
Oh. Let's eat this salmon steak. Let's play this game.
Okay. First one.
I'm getting sweaty. I'm nervous already.
So I already made these in like the description last time when I played a game of games with you, where some of these are a little obscure, just because I want to make it kind of difficult for you.
Oh, and here I am making easy quizzes.
I know. I'm sorry.
Dang.
No, you're not making easy quizzes. I'm making hilariously difficult ones of obscure stuff nobody's probably ever seen before.
We'll see.
Okay. All right. So the first one is, many elements come together to form this green-haired, red-underweared man with chiseled abs and cheekbones.
And these are the cartoons.
This is the
can't
cartoon.
even talk at this one. This is cartoons,
that was a pretty good
right?
rap, actually. I'm gonna save that for later.
Would this be Freakazoid?
No.
Damn.
I'll give you a second chance.
That's a big old buzz. You said red hair. No.
Green-haired.
Oh, well, maybe. The Freakazoid probably didn't even have.
So many elements come together to form this.
Captain Planet.
Yes.
Maybe I'll win if I listen.
Okay. I'll count that one for you.
Well, you don't have to cheat. Everyone's already putting a thumbs down. Boo, you lost the first one.
Fine. It's a hella wrong answer.
Dang.
Okay. For the second one, these sewage monstrosities terrorized this Japanese immigrant who sounded curiously like Uncle Phil. It's not Will Smith.
Wait, can you read it again, please?
Sure. These sewage monstrosities terrorized this Japanese immigrant who sounded curiously like Uncle Phil.
Is it Ninja Turtles?
Yes.
I thought it was, but I wanted to make sure that I heard every part of it.
Yeah, some of these, I was like, if I mention anything remotely like turtle related, no, it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's the only thing that came out.
Well, it seemed like
time.
It was so much. Well, okay. I got it.
Yeah.
So that's good.
The third one. From the creators of Batman the Animated Series, this character is a hacker who solves crime with his alter ego.
A hacker? And he's hacking things with someone?
He's not necessarily hacking things in the show.
Wait, did you say hacking things?
He is a hacker.
He is a hacker.
Or at least a computer enthusiast. And he solves crime with his alter ego.
I have no idea what this is.
You said the show already.
Freakazoid?
Yes.
That's what that cartoon was about?
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
Oh, wow.
I've never seen Freakazoid.
Yeah, it's totally about that. You just said a show and you didn't
I thought he was weird. I just thought he was a weird person.
Freakazoid, everybody. Check it out.
Wow.
It's one of my favorite shows. Okay. This one is set in a Texas suburb. This cartoon dealt with slice-of-life moments of a family and their town. Believe me, like if I wrote this in any other way, you'd get this.
Well, this way. Slice of life.
Yeah, kind of just regular things that happen in everyday towns.
Yeah, but the way you say it, is it about cakes or swords?
No. It is a cartoon show, but it's a show that I never thought should have been a cartoon because like the characters didn't really necessarily warrant anything wacky or ridiculous.
Texas, though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I have no idea. What is it?
Do you want any hints?
Yes.
Okay. 4 characters of the show are in the intro, and all they're doing is drinking beer.
King of the Hill.
Yes. So I was like, anything like...
I probably would have gotten that one because I really like King of the Hill.
Yeah.
Or I would say that was one of the cartoons that I watched a lot.
But the funny part is that nobody really knows which suburb it is that they're supposed to be at.
Yeah, and I had to remember that it was Texas.
Yeah.
But when you said drinking beer, that's all that they were doing. A lot more happens. You know, Bobby rides his bike. Luann comes by.
Yeah, but if I were to describe that.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Ooh.
This one I'm not sure you're going to get, but we'll see. These horrifying creatures thought concrete was water, and one of them wore rollerblades. These beasts were shredded, and yes, that's probably a pun they would have used on the show.
It says street sharks.
Oh my gosh, you got it! That's awesome! I didn't think you'd get that.
I never watched the show.
It is hilariously bad. There was like puns all over the place, and puns that didn't even make sense sometimes.
Oh, maybe that's why I never watched it. I was attracted to, I guess, like I wouldn't say girly cartoons because I never watched like Barbie or anything like that. But I would
think
say
Barbie had a cartoon.
Okay, maybe that's why I didn't watch it. But lots of cartoons where there's like little animals and little things in it. Those were the ones that I watched the most.
That makes sense.
Yeah, like David the Gnome.
Oh, I think that was 80s though.
I think that was the end of the 80s.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That way I don't have to worry about it appearing on this quiz.
Yeah, it's definitely not on this one. Okay. This cartoon features 2 eccentric brothers who struck out on their own and ran into crazy encounters. Their best friend is a stump, who is a tree stump.
Is this the Angry Beavers?
It sure is. Man, you're killing it. All right, so that's the end of cartoons.
Oh, I need like fireworks and other dazzling sounds.
I'll try and find some. Insert firework noises here. It's just going to be farts.
Fartworks.
Fartworks. Okay, so this comedic duo were essentially a live action...
Wait. That was the end of the 90s cartoons, right?
Yep, now we're 90s TV shows.
Oh, no. I wish I could have some lifelines.
I can drop some hints,
That's okay.
but we'll see
All
how
right.
well this goes.
Let's see how I do. I don't want to doubt myself too much.
Yeah, I'll let you know that a good majority of these were on Nickelodeon, if that helps you out.
Maybe.
Okay. Because, like, for whatever reason, Nick was just killing it in the 90s. They just had all the
That was an
best shows and
amazing
everything.
channel.
Yeah. It's so bad right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know too many stations that are really holding up that well with their content.
Yeah, it's just, I tried watching, like, not that I'm trying to attempt to watch children's programming, but it's just whatever's on in my nieces and nephews' homes.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just nothing but noise and loudness. And it's
Yeah.
like things that are just overtly trying to make you laugh. And there's like no punchline to them. It's just loud randomness. And I'm like, this isn't really cartoons.
You know what I've noticed? Most of the cartoons that are out now, they follow that same design. Like a lot of them are so similar looking versus how cartoons was, like 10 and 20 years ago, where you could see the distinct styles.
Like there's definitely a difference between Powerpuff Girls and Ed, Edd and Eddy.
Right.
Like you will not mistake those two, but I will mistake a bunch of things.
Yeah, now every cartoon has almost like a cherub shaped face with all of its characters.
I will say, I think one of the best cartoons that aired recently is Gravity Falls, if you can watch it.
Oh, really?
It's so well done, like overall, and I just think it's just a great show for kids and for adults because there's a lot of like not necessarily adult humor, but there's enough like jokes to get that's funny for all ages.
Oh, that's cool. I have to check it out then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just like he fell in a vat of pee. Ooh, isn't that funny?
What cartoon's doing that?
I don't know. Probably Ren and Stimpy now that I think about it. Okay, so this comedic duo were essentially a live-action version of Pinky and the Brain, except instead of world conquest, it was get-rich-quick schemes and orange soda.
Oh my goodness, it seems like I should know this. Keenan and Kel.
Yeah! I never realized how close they were to Pinky and the Brain until like I started analyzing the show more in my head. Like
That's
one of them
so
is
true.
Yeah.
But they did that a lot for duos. Like one always had to be
A complete dumbass.
yeah, while the other one is highly intelligent.
But it's always a highly intelligent one that's shorter and wider. And
yeah.
the weird one is tall and lanky.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Fat people are smart.
Okay. Ugg, Donkey Lips, and Sponge were among the notable characters of this show.
I know I definitely have not seen this show. Donkey Lips.
I just thought that was one of the best names for a character.
Donkey Lips. And what's the other one?
Sponge.
Sponge.
Mm-hmm.
Live action. People.
I know.
What's the hint for this one?
I guess the hint would be... there really isn't a hint.
Damn it! If there's no hint.
Okay, I guess the title of the show involves doing something to a flagpole.
Oh.
Not flagpole sitta.
I have no idea. What is it?
Salute your shorts.
I've heard of that
Mm-hmm.
twice in my life.
Twice.
Yeah.
Precisely twice.
Yeah.
You've never seen the show?
No, I've never seen the show.
Okay.
And even the title is like
Foreign to you.
it's slightly. Yeah.
Racist.
What? When did shorts become a race?
Okay. So the next one. If you couldn't watch Goosebumps, you'd be watching this show instead.
Are you afraid of the dark?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's correct.
I love all things supposedly scary.
Was
Because
your
that wasn't really scary. It was supposed to be,
It
but
was pretty eerie, I would say.
Well,
There were some good episodes.
I guess just compared to all the other things that I was watching
I mean, these are meant for kids.
at that age. Yeah. I mean, I was watching
I mean,
Hellraiser and
I'm like, not every kid's watching
Freddy
Hellraiser.
Krueger,
Yeah.
and then put on Are You Afraid of the Dark? I'm like, nah.
Well, it's like, it's a good thing to like, ease yourself down
It's
into the
probably
night.
what I should have been watching. Now look at me.
Well, you ended up fine. What was your
Insert,
favorite
like,
episode?
Stabbing sounds. My favorite episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we can open my brain wide enough to look inside and see. I don't
okay.
remember.
You're like, I love that show. Well,
Don't remember anything. I probably remember more Goosebumps versus Are You Afraid of the Dark because I used to read a lot of the books
Oh, okay.
back in the day.
What Goosebumps book stood out to you the most?
The one with the dummy in it.
I was gonna say, as in the back of my head, it's the Living Doll, isn't it?
Oh, that's the title of
Yeah.
it? I'm glad you know. Teamwork.
I'm a huge nerd. Woo!
I used to read all of those books back then.
I read up until 23, and then I stopped after that.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, like I only know the number. I don't remember like each and every one. And then there were like choose your own adventure ones. That man was an insane person to like crank them out as frequently as he did.
Stein.
And now he's retired, living on top of a pile of money with beautiful women surrounding him.
Is that a fact?
I don't know. Probably. I mean, I'm sure it is. There's no way that guy could be a loser.
Well, just because you're not laying on a pile of books with beautiful women beside you doesn't mean you're a... Anyway.
If the presidency has taught me anything, that's what success looks like.
Oh, really? Oh, I hate that model. 'Cause I'm not going to have a bunch of women around me. Does that mean I'll never be successful?
According to Trump.
Because my future doesn't involve other people's boobs?
We're also minorities, so that.
Oh, well. We're not going to bring up Trump.
Okay, back to something more fun.
Yeah.
This show was basically Twilight Zone for kids.
Oh, may I have a hint, please?
It's the title of the show is like a location.
Oh.
It's one of the Great Lakes.
I know this. I know it. One of the Great Lakes. Let's see. What are the
Well, it's like
name of the
it's
Great Lakes?
city, or it's town, then state, which is a big hint.
I know it. I'm like mad that I'm bombing on what it is.
It's okay.
But as long as the listeners are getting it.
I can tell you my favorite episode in the meantime to buy you some time.
Sure.
Okay. One of my favorite episodes was there were these two twins.
Two twins or twins?
These twins in the town. And it always seemed like they were ageless because they were kids forever. And then when they went to investigate and see why, turns out their mom was storing them in Tupperware containers.
What?
At night, yeah. And would basically trap them in there so that they would stay the same age forever.
What is this show?
You have to figure it out.
Oh, yeah, because it's a game, right? But I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Tell me, what is it?
Well, let me finish
Okay.
this one. So they eventually freed them and helped the twins out. And like over the weekend, they grew back up to their regular age. They were like 40-year-old dudes.
What?
Yeah. Because they caught up, because they've been out and everything. Another one was this kid who had those braces with like headgear.
Okay, I was going to say a mouth guard, but I think it's probably called something
thing.
else. Yeah.
Yeah, it's this crazy contraption that's just attached to his teeth. And he noticed that if he was to like tune it in a certain way, he could hear certain radio frequencies and everything. But it got down to the point where he could
that's
eventually
bad for your teeth.
he could eventually hear like what dogs were saying. And
what?
Yeah, and then the dogs were like conspiring against him. The dogs figured out that he could hear what they were saying. So it was just a really weird show.
Nosy ass human.
Yeah. I think in that episode the kid died because they killed him.
What? Okay,
Yeah.
okay, look. After you told me your favorite episodes, I thought I knew what this show was and that it was on the tip of my tongue, but now it seems like I have no idea. What is it?
Erie, Indiana.
I don't know if I know that, but I still got it wrong.
I want to know what show you were thinking of.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Because when you said twins, and I know that was just one episode from the series.
Yeah.
So then after you said that, I was like, well, I don't know what this is anymore.
Oh, that took the wind out of your sails.
Well,
I'm
then I had to
sorry.
think about the Great Lakes, and then I was like, oh no.
Okay. This next one. This live action show had a talking cat who unfortunately wasn't the main character of the show.
Come on, I love animals and talking animals.
Well, he wasn't the main character.
Well,
It's live action, though. It's fairly popular among kids.
is there a hint?
The show was eventually made into a movie.
Is there another hint?
The first word in Mutant Turtle show appears in the title of this show. I'm trying to like really dance around this.
So is ninja something?
Is that the first word?
Is it?
No, is that the first word of
What'd you say? Because you didn't say the whole thing.
the first word?
Oh,
of-
okay.
Yeah.
Is this teenage? It isn't. Sometimes I'll listen to you. It's teenage. Teenage, something. And it's 2 words, the title? No.
It's 4 words.
4 words.
It's a person's name.
And there's a talking cat in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's live action.
Mm-hmm.
What is this show?
You can keep asking questions. Questions
Well-
are endless. It's a buffet of knowledge.
Someone tweet me the answer. Oh. How many characters were the main characters, if not the cat?
Okay, I would say that because I feel like you don't know. Maybe you've never seen the show.
Probably not.
There's 3 aunts and 1 niece.
I do know the show. And the cat's name was Salem.
Uh-huh.
And it's Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I'm so glad that you gave me those hints. That last one was perfect because I honestly, my mind is so far from Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
What teenage something?
I know. It's like, what teenager had a
Ninja
cat?
something? Ninja witch? Sabrina the ninja?
Ninja Witch. Ninja Witch. Oh, damn.
All right.
Oh, wow. I did watch that show.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, but I just wasn't thinking about like that being the answer. I just wasn't thinking about the show. I was just thinking about Fat Albert the entire time. But,
Fat Albert?
Yeah, but that was a cartoon.
And it was in the 80s.
Yeah. Maybe I'm stuck in the 80s at the moment.
Did they make a movie of the Fat Albert show?
Yeah, they did. Using Keenan from Keenan and Kel.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, it wasn't
I totally
good.
forgot.
Because it was bad.
Yeah, that's just what happens.
Truth.
Okay, last one. This was a really low-budget knockoff of Bill Nye. It involved a fat guy in a rat suit, a creepy-looking mad scientist, and a lady clearly still obsessed with Cyndi Lauper.
Oh, I have an image of this show in my mind.
Yeah, because a lot of kids would tune into this thinking they were watching Bill Nye, and then realize this isn't Bill Nye.
I probably got gypped too. That was some science. Big rat man. Oh. Oh, I have seen this before, but the title of it. The title. How many characters was it? Was the guy in the rat suit the main person? I remember seeing him a lot.
Sometimes he would host. It wasn't very often. He was more of an instigator or the stupid idiot that they would correct, like, the world is flat. No, Lester, because Lester was the rat's name. No, Lester.
the rat.
Lester the molester.
Oh.
Molesting you with ideas and knowledge.
No one wants to be molested with anything. Well, maybe if it's knowledge. Which I wish I had right now. Figure out this show title.
Okay.
How many words in the title?
There's 2 words. And
2 words. I know I've seen this. Okay. I've definitely seen this before.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Lester the rat. Who else was in it? Who else was like a
I
voice?
actually
a
don't
voiceover?
remember the lady's name. The only reason I remembered Lester is because I actually recently looked at a clip, like 20 seconds long, and he just says his name like, Lester, you fucking idiot.
Perfect.
He'll get out.
Just like the 90s.
Yeah, it was the 90s. There was a lot more F-bombs there. No.
Oh, man. Do you have any hints on the title? Because I definitely see the show in my mind, but I cannot think of the title.
Okay, I'm trying to think of a hint. There's an apostrophe S. Like it's...
Fudge. I don't think I'm going to get it.
Hold on.
What is it?
Okay, the second word is world. Just give me the character's name, and I'll give it to you.
Beekman.
Yes.
Beekman's World. And now that I say Beekman, I have this image of this tall, thin guy with like dark, poofy, like curly hair.
Yeah, it was definitely a wig.
You think so?
I mean, you believed it because you were a child.
I honestly have not seen that show since the 90s.
Yeah, I just
and
recently
haven't thought about it until.
I just recently watched a clip of it. I was like, this is... The way it's lit is really creepy. It's like super dark, and it's like flashlight under your chin, like how a campfire is. I don't know why they decided to light it like that.
Beekman's World.
It's so strangely lit.
Oh.
But yeah, influenced maybe one kid.
I definitely watched it.
Yeah, that guy's not coming back for a Netflix series.
Oh, man. I'm sure it's fine. I don't remember what the show was even about.
What, Beekman's World?
Yeah.
It was a Bill Nye knockoff. They would try to teach you things.
Oh, so it was real science?
Yeah.
Actual science facts?
But it was like kind of boring. Like Bill Nye was entertaining. Their entertainment was a guy in a rat suit, and that's the only thing most kids remember. It's like, hey, that guy was in a rat suit. It's like Chuck E. Cheese. Let's go to Chuck E. Cheese. It's like, don't even think about science.
You know what? That's so funny. That was big in the 80s and 90s, people being in animal costumes. But all of those were rememberable. I mean, at least I would think so. Like, we remembered the rat, not necessarily Beekman, even though it was his show.
Well, I think there's also a lot of, like, weird animal-human hybrids, like Street Sharks, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Biker Mice from Mars, Samurai Pizza Cats.
Yeah, before all of that.
It's just a lot of weird, like, let's just give all these animals human things.
They had a live-action version before all of those came out, and this probably was at the tail end of the 80s as well. I don't know if it made it into the 90s, but Zoobilee Zoo was
I haven't even heard that one.
Yeah, that was a popular show, at least with me.
100% of the kids you knew.
100% of the kids that I knew watched Zoobilee Zoo.
What was it about?
Such a good time. Just people being in animal costumes.
That's it?
Yeah, there was. Well, I'm pretty
Was it
sure.
just like furries? Like pre-furries?
No, those shows made for kids. It's always about feelings and emotions and shit like that we suppress as we become older. And so it was
So is
mostly
it like
about
Barney?
Oh, but not
so directed towards like preschoolers, maybe like
yeah,
elementary school.
Yeah, exactly. So not so more of, it's more of like, oh, the kangaroo lady is sad. What happened? It's like, oh, I
A
tripped.
dingo ate her baby.
She like tripped because she didn't know how to tie her shoes or something, and then at the end
okay,
she
got it.
I don't know. So I just totally made that
I want to
up.
know if the show looks like really creepy now, or because it's just people in suits.
I think I went back and looked at a clip, and I was like, man, your imagination when you're a child is so much better when you're an adult. Because as I look at it as an adult, it just seemed very empty. Like they were in just like an open studio space, and then maybe like a few props and things like that. Very different from Sesame Street, where they built an entire world with these characters. They had streets and motherfucker lived in a trash can. Like it was this entire world. But then Zoobly Zoos, it's almost like a blank canvas. And I was like, man, this seems so much more vibrant and interesting when I was a kid. So I'm thinking, did I fill in all the gaps? Or am I just making up shit right now? Because I don't even remember the clip that I looked at a couple of years ago.
We haven't even seen the show, like as far as like what it actually looks like.
But I know that definitely was not like Sesame Street.
Okay, so I want to say that this is going to be kind of like our 90s sort of nostalgia month.
Oh.
So we were just live workshopping this. So, I mean, we kind of just did 90s as kind of a last minute sort of thing last week, and then we did it today.
It's true.
So next week, I kind of want to challenge you to find 90s game shows.
Oh.
Because they're so strange.
You got it.
So 90s game shows is what I'm requesting.
You got it. I already know a few off the top of my head.
It doesn't necessarily have to involve kids, but 90s kids game shows.
All of them.
Well, I mean,
90s.
I don't know if you consider Real World versus what was the other? Because they MTV had a couple.
Well, they definitely had game shows geared towards adults in the 90s. I mean, Jeopardy's been out for fucking ever.
I think it's been out since the 70s.
Yeah.
No.
So, probably.
Yeah, I guess like things like that don't necessarily count, but that's why I was thinking of what is that show called? It's like Real World versus.
Is it a 90s game show?
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. You're going to find out next week?
Yeah, we'll find out next week, I guess. That makes sense.
That's awesome. 90s month.
Yeah. And then,
I can't wait for 80s month.
And then I kind of want to do 90s music videos if there's still time at the end of the month.
Let's see, we'll make time.
Yeah.
We'll make time.
90s music videos. This one had a Cheetos loving cat.
Oh my God. Oh, I already know what that is.
Yeah.
A 90s video with the
it
Chester
might be
the
80s.
Cheeto guy.
Yeah. It might be 80s.
I think it was the 90s though. If it
Paul
is.
Abdul, by the way, if you're wondering what it is, kids.
And the song is called Straight Up.
Straight up, don't tell me. I don't know the lyrics.
You want to be in love with me forever. Maybe late 80s or early 90s. I want to say it's early 90s.
There's a period of like 88 to 93 that just bleed together.
Everything was so good during that time.
I guess. Well, that's a conversation for another day.
Oh, okay.
What's the 90s kid?
You're a kid at that point. I mean, compared to now.
That's true.
As an adult.
It was a pre-9/11 world, so there was a lot more bombs on planes jokes. It's really weird. You could definitely watch like movies and like any other media, and it's very pre-9/11. There's a lot of stuff happening at airports, like stop the plane, or all this stuff, or I've got a bomb on me, or like
shit that you would never do.
Yeah, like this would never happen. It's a lot looser, a lot goofier. Like we're on top of the world and super cocky about it.
Either way, the shows were great. 90s.
Well, and that's the end of our show. Speaking of the 90s, speaking of things that are gone and dead, that's the end of our show.
Wait, what? No! That doesn't make any sense at all.
Cut that out. Okay.
Right.
You can find us on uncouth-tangents.com. You can contact us through Twitter. We are at uncouth-tangents.
Feel free to contact us on any of those. We'd love to hear from you guys.
If you want to see some of our back catalog, you can find it on the website as well. That's episodes 1 through 8, because I think on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts on, they kind of only go back to 9. Speaking of which, don't forget to like and subscribe on wherever you get your podcasts from, and we'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
90s!